As promised, this is the video with the spectacular addition to the Harbor Freight scissor lift. In the beginning, I'm going to go over just the facts because most people nowadays have the attention span of a gnat. If you're one of those many hardworking Americans that are working 3 part-time jobs just to be able to make ends meet, I'm not insulting you. I'm going to get right to the facts because your time is extremely valuable. Fact number 1, this is a Harbor Freight scissor lift. And it is item 91315. The motor is 240, 220, 230, however you want to rate it. It's rated at 220, but the outlet's actually 240. By the time the voltage reaches the outlet, it's in the neighborhoods of 230, 235, somewhere around there. But it's called 240 and 120. And there's going to be a big argument about that. Back to the facts. I'm already starting to stray. It's so hard. Scissor lift. It costs $14.99.99, I believe. I used a 25% off coupon. You can only buy this online on harborfreight.com. It accepted it. I don't know if it's going to do it for you. If there's a bit of a mistake, you might want to take advantage of it ASAP. That saved me $375. $375 plus the tax on the $375 saved me about $400, a little over $400. So with that extra money, I was able to buy the arm extensions because, to my dismay, when I all of a sudden set this thing up and put my 2016 Corolla S Plus on the lift, I was short. These jack pads were not coming out to the pinch welds on the body where you're supposed to jack up the car. I was ticked off because I thought this thing was gonna, they show a picture of a minivan on this thing and somebody puts Jeeps on it, which Jeeps are narrow. I had no idea, and I've seen trucks on these. I got these arms from JMC equipment for $99 a pair. So $200 for all 4 arms, and I paid about $76 in shipping. I paid $276.08 for all 4 arms. That's an amazing deal because everywhere else I see online is $200 for just 1 pair, so $400 for all of them. And then they hit you for shipping and tax if they're in your state. These guys are based out of Indiana, so you don't have to pay tax unless you're in the state of Indiana. If you're living in Gary, Indiana, just have it shipped to Chicago and go visit somebody and pick them up. So with my savings and then what I paid to make this thing work on just about any car, I'm only up to $1,582 and some change. I had to tip the guy $20. What you end up getting is the Harbor Freight, these jack pads right here. When you come from dead center of this guy all the way over here to the dead center of this guy, you're looking at 52 7 7/16 of an inch. With the extensions, and these are also the pads here from Harbor Freight. I didn't buy new ones. The center from there to the center from here, you are now at 68 1/8 of an inch. I forgot to do the math there, but that looks like 16 inches and 5/16. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to... No, it's somewhere... It's a little less than 16 inches. So you're gaining 16 inches in the width. From the ground up to the pad, right here in the valley, that is 55 11/16. And you can also get extensions on these that go up 6 inches if you wanted to. I'm probably not going to do that. And I need to center this lift more over to the left. So that's pretty much all the facts. Now I'm going to start rambling, probably talk about something that has nothing even to do with this lift, and hopefully bring it back full circle in order to close. I have to get my car and this lift right in line with the edge of this guy and the edge of this guy. So this lift needs to come over more, and then I'll worry about the rest of it. Would I work underneath this lift without any jack stands or anything else supporting it with just this lock? Hell no. I had this lift up for just a little bit with no weight on it, and this lock popped off. It popped right out. I've got all the adjustment out of this cable here and up there on the release handle, and it's still not enough. There's too much tension on this thing. I can't wait for this cable to stretch if it's going to. I need to get a heavier spring or another spring on top of here to pull this thing in. But even if that thing was pulled in, I still wouldn't trust it. This thing would come flying down on top of you, and it's going to absolutely crush any appendage you have in the way of it, or it's going to completely sever it, and you'll be lucky to die immediately if this thing comes down. This is not a lift I'm going to have for using on cars for very long. Eventually I'm going to get a 4-post lift, and that'll be for oil changes. You know, just drive it up, lift it, change oil, drop it, drive it out. That's it. Over here is going to be a Max Jack MX6, their new one with safety latches, 2-post, and I'm going to put high-rise. I'm going to change these into a high-rise garage door opener with, I forget what they're called, jack studs or something like that, where they connect to the pole right there and they turn. That's the way they open up the garage. And this guy will all go away, this whole middle section. These rails will be shortened because they're going to go all the way up to the ceiling and then make their way over. They're going to have to put in higher tension springs because you've got more weight coming up for a longer distance. And this is going to be the first door that I'm going to do. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to cut into the floor here or I'm going to cut into the floor over here in the first garage part. I think I'm probably going to do here because this is basically the furthest one over here, and this is where my girlfriend parks her car. It's easiest for her to get in and out. She's not going to hit as many things, and she's out of my way, which is probably the most important thing. She'll tell you she's never in my way. I'm going to say the exact opposite of that. I had this guy jacked up in the back here on, I think it was on this guy, or it was this guy, I can't remember, and I started lowering the lift, and the lift went down. And what it did was, this part stayed up, and this part was going down. So if you were to have a failure, and you had just this guy back here, and you didn't have this guy in front, it's not going to save you. You're screwed. You're done for. Getting this guy in here, that's a precarious situation. If all of a sudden it broke and you lost hydraulic pressure and the safety lock didn't hold, man, your arms are up underneath here. This is dangerous. This is a very dangerous lift, I think. I really would like to see another safety, like a manual safety, where there's a bar that I can slide going right across here. And then if it were to fall down, it would get pinned in between these two. I'd like to see something like that, like there's slots. And I may end up welding something on here if there's any room. And I don't know that there is, because this probably sits flush up on top of that. But yeah, this, you know, what this is going to be great for me is, like I said, I'm going to be using this as a makeshift workbench that doesn't take up any room. It's going to be down, recessed into the floor with a plate on it. And when all of a sudden I need to weld something, it's going to be the welding table, and it's going to be perfectly grounded. It's all going to be metal. I just throw it on there, connect it. I can wheel it. Well, it'll be difficult to wheel out because it'll be recessed at that point. But I could theoretically lift it up. It has wheels, and it rolls pretty easy on nice, hard, flat concrete, which is what you're supposed to be on anyway. It rolls extremely well. So anybody else that's complaining because they're on asphalt, they're not supposed to be on asphalt, or they're on pavers. I read a couple of those reviews on Harbor Freight. You're not supposed to be on that to begin with. And yeah, it probably would be hard at that point. That's when you're going to need like a winch or hook it up to your truck or something and pull it, or your car. There's a loop right there. Get a chain hooked up to it. But as far as pushing it and moving it around on here with this guy, easy. You know, you just need to push the thing all the way down and raise it up. Anybody else that tells you otherwise is... I'm not that strong of a guy currently. I used to be a lot stronger when I was working out. Hopefully that'll change. But anybody that says it's difficult to move around is either retarded or is extremely weak. So for the other problem with these guys here is you can't get them right where you want them, right where I would have wanted them. So you would maybe put it underneath the axle of a car, the rear axle, and maybe put another one under the, what is that called? Subframe? You know, like a K-member or something in the front. And that would give you a little bit of time if it failed. All you need is a few seconds to get the hell out of the way. You know, if the thing collapses. If you got 5 seconds and you can't make it out of there, you got too much crap in the way, and you should have thought about that before getting a car up in the air. Let me see what else I can talk about. I wanted to go over the washers and everything, and the size. These are the original Harbor Freight ones. Not like it really matters too much, but the tools you're going to need are, if you're going to use the exact tools. This is a 17 millimeter currently for these guys to adjust them. You want to adjust them to where they're flat so you get all that space. And it's not like on hitting the corner and you're losing width. But you don't even want these guys. You want to get rid of them. You do want to do the same thing on these guys though. This one, Harbor Freight's a 17. The JMC is a 16. The Harbor Freight washers are much nicer. If you think I'm going to trust this washer, which appears to be like aluminum, if you could damn focus, yeah, thank you. I'm not trusting that. There is no way. This is the one that came with the JMC one. It looks even worse. I went to Lowe's and I bought these. These are two grade 8 3/4 inch washers. And I will go get the package that they came out of. I was lucky to find just one of these, and then I ordered 3 of them online and had them shipped to the store. They wanted to charge me $5.99 for shipping to my house. Forget that. I'm not paying that. That's over 2 gallons in gas that I can go 70 miles in. I'm pretty sure there's a Lowe's within 70 miles round trip of your house. If not, then yeah, have it shipped to your house. And let me show you the bag. Oh, this is the last socket here. Both of them were a 30 metric. Come on, man. There you go. And obviously I've got Pittsburgh because they're cheap. And all of them went on these guys right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use the Harbor Freight washers, and I'm going to sandwich them in between these two guys. And I use 2 on here just to take up the space. And 2 of these is the equivalent of one of those, maybe even a little less. So I can easily sandwich one in between like that. Or I may just do both of these, I don't know, and still have threads. This is what you want for the grade 8 bolts. I can't remember the number off my head. It was a 6-digit number. And if I told you something, it would probably be wrong, so I don't want to do it. I don't see that number on here, so I'll end up putting a hyperlink in the description along with everything else, the Harbor Freight lift, and a hyperlink for the JMC extension arms. If you can find any of this stuff cheaper, I want to know about it, because I don't think it's possible. With the 25% off coupon off of this Harbor Freight lift, and shipping was only like $96 for the lift, and then like $86 for tax or something. Everything came to $13.06 and some change. These were $276 and some change, $276.08, shipped to my door, no tax. The arms are thicker too, you can see, and they should be because they're longer, and they're a little bit taller too, so you're going to get a little more height out of it, which is also an extra added benefit, but nothing of significance. You'd have to get a 6-inch truck extension, little tube, if you want up really higher. But I think this is the best kept secret about this lift and how to improve it. And I hope everybody who's interested in one of these lifts sees this and it helps them out, because the lift is basically useless without these arms, I think, for newer cars, you know, bigger ones like Camrys and stuff like that.